Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks, part 2 of this. I like breaking up my videos because they get too long, and a lot of people can take a break between the videos and come back and see what I'm doing. So we've already, and I figured out these lines are, I've asked the person if they are going to print it or engrave it. I'm going off of an engraver. These lines are actually not lines, so they're going to really help us for separation. But what we're going to do, we're going to take the Smart Fill tool, and I'm going to go in the assumption that they're an engraver. So what's going to happen is those blue lines are actually separation lines. So it's going to make it, when we zoom back in just a second, you'll be able to see that it, if they're printer, it's going to be a little bit different. So there's a engravable monkey. And the reason I fill it in is to get rid of some of these thicker lines. Then I'm going to left click, right click, and it's going to be in a hairline. Now, at first glance, it looks like they're double lines, but they're separation. And that's going to make the feet kind of stand out. Now, the person asked for the monkey to be more upside down and the tail to be moved. Well, they didn't really ask, but it's kind of easy to move the tail. Take a 2-point line, or really actually probably a 3-point curve line. Give a little bit of a curve. Fill in this and move it over. Nudge it over. Now I'm actually nudging too far. But we can now take this and we can left click and right click and we can turn the tail. And then we can actually, what we have to do is get rid of the tail. And the best way to do it is with the Smart Fill tool. And so basically I'm just going to Smart Fill it again. And don't worry about the placement of the tail. I'm just trying to get the features. See, now we got a monkey without the tail. So here's his tail. We're going to select all this, and we're going to left click, right click in red just so we can see it better. And now we're going to incorporate his tail, wherever you want to put it. Take the virtual segment delete key and delete that. Hate to say it, but once again, we need to take the Smart Fill tool, and I didn't have to delete all those little pads and footprints, foot parts, but this way it's going to be done. And I think it looks pretty good. Now, let's group all this together, Control G. Now, normally I nudge, but since we've moved his tail, it doesn't matter, you can move it. And we're going to take this tail, and because it's grouped together, I can kind of look at it. And that's going to look like it's going to go over and under. And I'd also, maybe not, the tail's rough, but it's a monkey's tail. So now what we can do is take the golf shaft of the club, left click, right click. Take the monkey itself, left click, right click. And quite possibly the easiest thing to do would be to cut these lines out. But we're going to have it go behind there and over here. So what I'm going to do is, it's always safer to maybe do this. Let's move William Price up. And let's make it, well, didn't have to do that. Let's make it duplicate. Because I'm going to play with the monkey first. And there's several ways to do this. Vector, enter virtual segment delete key, and just delete these lines. You could fill them in and then weld them together. But that way, if we take this monkey's tail now and fill it in, well, you know what? Did I not get a line? There's like an imaginary line there. Let's see what's going on. Let's look at that in wireframe. Yep. Well, the old monkey is still there. Let's do this. Go back to it. I'm almost glad that came up. Let's get rid of this monkey. Let's take our new monkey, move it out of the way. Now I've already done that. See, there's an old monkey there. Let's look at it in wireframe again. Still part of the old monkeys there. And I don't think those lines shouldn't affect us. Go back to enhance. Okay, now take our monkey back. Now this time I did nudge it. So now I can take my smart fill. That's what I wanted. I'm going to nudge it. Well, I'm going to wait just a second. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to nudge that to the right. Smart fill, nudge that to the right, nudge that to the right, and nudge that to the right. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do I don't know how many times we're going to have to do this, but hopefully this is the last. So there's our finished product. And somehow I think that other monkey messed us up. I don't think I did that. So we'll basically have to, that wouldn't work in that case. We're just going to have to manually move these over. And hopefully they won't leak, but we can fix them like we did before. Well, you know what? Back up here. If you remember, I want to delete that. I made a copy of the club before I did anything. Remember? And I did it for that reason. Now, let's group the monkey together, Control G, and nudge him over. That's why I made a copy, because if we cut those lines. So now the monkey looks like he's going, his tail is going around the golf club. His tail is upside down. And what I said about the roughness, the monkey's, really straight, and it all depends on your preference. If we look at this tail like that, you could actually take the smoothing tool or, I'm going to use a smoothing tool. Boy, it's so little, 0.1, and just smooth that tail out a little bit. But like I said, it's a monkey's tail. And then all you have to do is fill it back in. That might be a problem. Not really, because if you're going to grade this, that's what it's going to look like. And then fill in his body again. And don't forget his feet, his nose, his eyes. Now, the only thing, I'd almost test this, because a laser engraver, and I'm thinking they're going to print this on a cup or something, maybe, I'm guessing, or engrave this on a cup. These lines might not be far enough. Well, I take it back. If we remember, I said at the I didn't make it any smaller. Yeah, I did. I can't remember what file size it is, but the larger the file size, the bigger those gaps are going to be, and they're not going to go away. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.